second revisit this year. Yay!
Here we are on the second revisit, guys. Holy crap, and Pry even made an outro. Holy crap, I'm so cool. Now, you probably already know, but today we're doing the revisit on Rainbow Six Siege. I plan to do this one a little differently, as this is one of the few first-person shooters that I actually don't enjoy. Before you blast me hard here and click off, I would like to tell you that that is not the purpose of this video. Actually, quite the contrary, as this game has made me have quite mixed feelings about it. The best way I could say this is like this. Rainbow Six Siege is a great game that I hate to play. Obviously, these are very contradictory statements. And yes, it is kind of meant to be taken that way. My main reasoning for this is that Siege is truly a one-of-a-kind game that has actually managed to remain relevant and keep a consistent fan base. But Pry, you just said you hate playing this game. What gives? Yes, I do hate playing Siege, but it is not for reasons you may think. Actually, I found every reason I hate playing this game is on a fault of my own. I plan to explain this a little better throughout the coming sections and attempt to pinpoint why Ubisoft, of all companies, released what I believe should be an industry standard for multiplayer first-person shooters. There is one board game that I feel we can draw a comparison to, and that is chess. Now Pry, hold up. Did you actually just compare one of my favorite games to a board game that is the equivalent of what you get when the concept of fun has an abortion? Well, yes I am. There are two specific aspects of Rainbow Six Siege that can be compared to chess, and the first is the operators. Each operator has their own guns, abilities, gadgets, and stats. Individually, these characters all have their strengths and weaknesses, some more so than others, depending on perspective. So, what is the second aspect, you may be wondering? It's very simple: the combinations. Being a team-based game, it is good to look at all the different operators and see how well they work together. This is important, especially playing with friends. It is best to focus on each person's strong gameplay points when choosing your operator. I suppose we could throw one more similarity to chess in here, and that is the placement of characters around the map. Basically, strategy. By attempting to foresee where the enemies will be coming from is important. Setting up to make your play effective and pin the opponent in the proverbial checkmate is the ultimate goal of both games. So, judging by the last section and the way I was comparing it to chess, one of my favorite games in history, if you don't know how to play chess, I highly recommend learning how to play chess. It will make you that much smarter, I promise you. I mentioned in the last section, though, about operators and all their different guns and gadgets and all that crap. Well, one of the most important things about those operators is knowing where to place them around the map and where to go, essentially. This sounds simple enough, right? But no. A lot of playtime is required to learn the maps in this game, because once you die, that's it. No respawn. Nada. Not until the next round. Each time you play a map, you'll become a little more familiar with it, and that kind of applies to any multiplayer game, right? In a sense, yes it does. All competitive multiplayer games have this same learning curve. The reason I think it is worth mentioning in Rainbow Six Siege is because during this learning phase, you likely won't be having too much fun. I know I hated this process when I first started playing it, and I honestly still don't feel comfortable on most maps. Philip. This sets more experienced players apart from newer players dramatically. If it wouldn't have been for the fact that my friends loved the game, I myself would have probably just deleted it after the first few matches or so. Ubisoft, in their infinite wisdom, is also known for changing the maps as well, which can be very frustrating for the more experienced players who are used to and already like the original maps. The point is, map knowledge is one of the keys to doing well in this game. You are unlikely to just get lucky on a map you've never played before, unless you're playing a total noob like yourself. Until you are used to these maps, make callouts from the compass that are on the bottom of the screen, because most people are going to be trying to make callouts based on the actual room the person is in. You first time playing the map, first couple times playing the map, hell, I still suck at calling out rooms. I don't know the rooms. And I've been playing the game for I stopped playing for about 4 months, but yeah, I played it for a good while. I'm ranked like 81 or something like that. But map knowledge is important in this game, and I honestly just can't be fucked to learn all the different maps. So that's one of the reasons I dislike the game. A good headset is to Siege what icing is to a cake. Well, you don't really technically need good audio to play Siege, and I guess you don't technically need icing on a cake to make it a cake. You know what? I'm overthinking this. The point is, you don't need a headset to play, but some sort of surround sound audio is kind of required. Sound whoring, as it has come to be called, is more prevalent in this game than any other that I have played. This is because of how well the game's audio fuses with the environment. Footsteps, gunshots, explosions, and gadgets are all important and are, a lot of the times, a sole indicator of where people are. I would go as far as to say that the audio cues in this game are as equally important as the visual cues. This is the main reason I don't enjoy the game. I don't hear very well. So a lot of the time I end up getting killed by someone right next to me or behind me. Obviously, I shouldn't criticize a game based on my inability to play it, so this is where my statement from the beginning of the video begins to make a little more sense. I believe the importance of those audio cues in Rainbow Six Siege is one thing that I think sets it apart from many other first-person shooters today. Rainbow Six Siege combines all of the previous gameplay points and brings your own personal skill out of you. This game is not a quick learn and get good in a day or two type game. It's not like picking up a new Battlefield or a new Call of Duty. No, Siege sets up to make itself uniquely different. Uniquely different in the sense that there is no real way to improve in the game other than just getting creamed in PvP. You could attempt to play the PvE modes, but I can honestly say the terrorist hunt and the situations may only be good for getting you to understand the basic game mechanics. However, playing others and understanding where and what people are likely to do on certain maps and in certain situations is the only way to learn. That brutal learning curve is what sets the tone for the kind of people that like to play this game as well. And what I mean by that is that it's a very competitive game, and people take competitive games very seriously. Whether you are playing casual or ranked, it does not matter. I wouldn't say that the community is toxic, but in the heat of the moment, you may be promptly informed if you let your team down. If you find yourself in a toxic situation, it's best not to be toxic back. It's better, honestly, just to be kind of nice and be like, look, I'm honestly not very good at the game. That's how I did it, and I was able to make friends pretty easily, even when I honestly sucked giant donkey balls at the game. Now, I want to be a little clear on this point. Rainbow Six Siege is not only different from other first-person shooters in the industry, but it is also different than any other game from its parent company, Ubisoft. I'd like to be transparent on this point by saying I have never played a previous Tom Clancy game. It's not because I dislike the series, it's just one of the series that never really caught my attention, similar to Splinter Cell. I tried playing Splinter Cell back in the day, I wasn't a huge fan, I was a kid, just wasn't my series. But if we look at the other Ubisoft franchises and online games, from Far Cry to Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft never really set out to make a long-term multiplayer game that was similar to something like Destiny that was supposed to last 10 years. Enter Rainbow Six Siege, released on December 1st, 2015, and is currently on its 4th year season pass. So how is the game lasting so long without any major core changes in the gameplay? I believe that the core gameplay and the simplistic design is what keeps people coming back. It's intensely competitive, constantly being updated with new operators, and is overall a high action ride from match to match. Whether you're, the one attacking or defending, it's tense, to say the least. Honestly, I want to thank you for watching the video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and tell me down below if you have played the game, what your thoughts are on the game. If you haven't played the game, are you thinking about picking it up? Let me know what you think. This revisit is over, and until next time, eat shit!